All right, let's see. Okay, hello everyone. It's Brenda Miller and others. We're here to work on our paper pumpkin kit. We're working on the June kit called Spikes and Blooms. So we're going to make one of each project today. So if you're watching on replay, feel free to fast forward through anything you don't need to see and stop it when you've got a question. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. Let me go to my desktop. And we may have people pop in, so we'll welcome them when they come. So we can open up our kit, and of course yours is wrapped in that fun tissue paper, and we've got this adorable stamp set with a bicycle, and I do love it has have a lovely day. I just think
Mm-hmm.
that's so nice, you know. I like to say that. And we've got some flowers and butterflies, and I think we're going to use every stamp in this. Oh, no, we're not using the I'm sorry, the bicycle, but we're going to use everything else. So, but it's fun to have a bicycle. And then you have a packet of, you've got the dimensionals. So these are the mini dimensionals. We're going to be using a bunch of those. And then also in there, just so you know, is you have these little glue dots, which we're going to use with our twine, which you have in a separate package. But
Oh,
also in there are little butterflies, and I know they're in there. So let's see what I did with mine. They were here this morning when I did my project. I made one of each, but you have little shimmery butterflies. So hopefully mine are going to turn up because I did use them. But I put everything back in their place. Let's see, maybe it's in here. Let's see. But you're definitely going to want your dimensionals. Oops. And Jules is here to say hello. Okay, so what I'm going to do. All right, you're good. Go ahead. Go ahead. She hasn't been feeling well, so
oh,
yeah, I know. I hate that,
I
but
hate it too. It's terrible.
I'm trying to stay on top of it. But she doesn't always tell us very clearly, or we don't recognize it because she hardly ever has done anything, said anything. So she doesn't bark or whine or anything. So anyway, try to stay on top of it. Okay, well, we're going to have to wing it with the little butterflies, but you have butterflies. All right, so we're going to open up our package and pull out all the supplies. The first thing in the package are your envelopes, and you can see that they're decorated. They're three different colors, and I love that they have an area where you can address it. So it just makes it look a little bit fancier. So we have those beautiful envelopes, but we're going to put those aside because we're not actually going to use them. Um, hmm. Okay, so let's go ahead and start sorting our supplies. So we're going to be making three piles because we have three card designs. The first one is this cute bicycle, and you can see that it has the silver foiling on it. And that's going to go with card number 3. And then you put the rest aside. Next up is we have the card base for card number 2. I love the way that they've changed the packaging, and it's very consistent. It's the envelopes and then like a die cut sheet or something, and then a card base, and then another set of die cuts, and then the card base. So it makes it easy for sorting and finding things when you lose them. You can put the others aside. So then we're going to take out this whole sheet of die cuts, and we're just going to use one of them. Let's go ahead and break it apart. And I believe all of these go with card. Oh, no, they don't. Okay, so we're going to take this big bicycle because it's the biggest piece. I'm popping that out. And one thing to note is that there are 2 places in the middle that you're going to pop out, which I didn't notice the first time I did that. So just so that you know. So you've got the big bike, and that's going to go with card number 2. Then you have this little, like a bookshelf with a plant, and that's going to go to card number 3. Then we have the little basket that has the plant coming out of it, and that also is on card number 3. The old olive stripes piece goes with card number 3. And then this is, I guess, crisp cantaloupe and their polka dots, and that's going to go to card number 1. It's our first thing for card number 1. So there we go. All right. Everybody good?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, next up, we have this pretty green card base, and that is card number 1. So you can go ahead, put that together. And then we have some more die cuts to punch out. So we're going to take the flagged white one, and that goes to card number 3. So that's this piece here. Then we have a flower pot. And I'm going to call this the smaller flower pot. I think we have a bigger one. And that goes to card number 1. And then finally from that, oh no, we have 2 more from the sheet. So we have these big leaves, and you can see they've given us an area where we're going to stamp flowers. And that goes with card number 2.
Oh.
And then finally, hard to see, but this is kind of like a vanilla it's a circle that has a little part of it cut off. And that goes to card number 1. And then we'll put the rest of those away. Okay, the yellow card base goes with card number 3. Got that going. And then we have there are 2 sets of die cuts here, just so that you know, these are not the same.
Oh.
So you're going to punch out one of the bicycles, and you can see it's like half a bicycle, right? It's missing its front wheel. And that goes to card number 1. And depending upon which sheet you picked up, one of the sheets has this little like license plate. And that little license plate goes to, I'm checking just to, I've got to look at the sample. This one goes to card number 1. And then there's this little cloud looking thing, but it's actually an outline for some flowers. And there's some on this sheet, and then there are also others on the second sheet of die cuts that you have. And so that little flower outline goes with card number 3. And that is everything for your card, for our 3 cards. How did we do with that? Everybody good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brenda, I think the license plate goes to number 2. Doesn't it?
No, number 1.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I think she's right. It is number 2.
Wait.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you. Yes, it is. So if you look at the sheet, it's down here. It's just hard to see. A lot of these things were hard to see. So it is down here. Thank you, Sheila.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Now that we have that, we're going to start with card number 1. Oh, I didn't mention that you also got your spot this time is Calypso Coral.
This is a pretty
color. And I'm going to use my full-size pad just because it's easier, and then I'm able to donate my spots as that becomes necessary. So got that. And again, I don't seem to have my little butterflies. I'm sure they'll show up. I told you, saying this has been a busy week in every class. There's been something missing, and I don't know where they all went. So, okay, so let's go with card number 1, and we're going to start with our stamping. So this one, we will be stamping 2 things. We're going to stamp that circle that is cut off, and we're also going to stamp the flowers on this flower pot. So let's start with the message, and this one is the one that says, "Have a lovely day," which I think is great. And I have to use a long stamp block today because that's what I have available to me. So have a lovely day. And get my ink pad out. A rich, vibrant color. Always love to use it. And it just gets stamped right in the center. And again, I always love when they mix the fonts. And so this is just another one of those where the fonts are mixed.
Nice.
Yeah. Next up, you can see that on your sheet of stamps, there are two different sets of flowers. One, and I don't really know how to distinguish, but there's like a half flower on one of them, and then the center one on this one is a full flower. We're going to use the one with the half flower. So if you look at the bicycle, it is to the bottom left side of the bicycle as opposed to right next to the bicycle. Okay. So that's how you know which one to do. Stamp that, and we're going to ink that up. And you can see, I love when they do this for us, but they leave us a little outline, and it fits in there just absolutely perfectly. There it is. And even without being able to get over it, it's pretty easy to line up. So that's all the stamping for this card. Oops.
It's cute.
Throwing things around the room. All right. Okay. So, everybody good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. Let's move on to assembling our card. So I love that the card base is kind of got that watercolor, but then it has a fun base at the bottom. And one of the great reasons for that is that when you're putting a bicycle, something with wheels, to your card, you need a place for it to rest. Because putting it up here, it's kind of just floating in the air, right? And we want it to be like in the grass or on the ground or like that. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to take our bicycle and we're going to put a bunch of dimensionals on the back, as many or as few as you like. They used about 10. So
oh my gosh.
Feel free, but we've got a ton. So, I'm just going to stagger them around. I'm going to put one on the seat so that it can pop up. And, with the mini ones, you can really get in there, and you can even get into this little corner here on that bicycle. And of course, we want to get the wheel, and I'm just really randomly placing them. And because I want it to, have, by popping it up, we give it a little dimension. Do that. All right. In general, you want to go with slightly wider areas. A little hard to get the wheel down here, but I'm going to give it a try. All right. Once you have your dimensionals on, you're just going to peel off the backings. I like to place them first and then peel off the backings. And we were talking about it before we started, that with the dimensionals, a lot of times I'll stick my fingernail in the center of them as I'm laying them down, so that when I come back to peel off the backings, they come right off. So just a little tip there. And when you go to align it to the card, you're going to take this front part of the bicycle and it's going to align with the right side of the card. And as I mentioned, you want it to overlap with that stripe at the bottom so that it's grounded. And that's what you call it. When, it makes sense, you're grounding it because it's on the ground. It gives it someplace to be. Okay. And so that's how that looks. I love that it has that little silver foiling. Okay.
Still peeling.
Sorry, still peeling? Yes, that's
Still
fine.
peeling.
Take your time. There's no rush here.
So many.
I know. Well, it depends how many you put. But yes, they did. They put a whole bunch. They actually may have more than 10 on there I didn't count, but it's a lot. I didn't use as many. It's fine with me. So something that I don't normally do is when something's already listed to put something also that's listed, but they are doing that a little bit with this card. I, of course, could not wait to get my flowers on there. So the flowers are going to be applied with dimensionals onto the back of the bike that is already on dimensionals. And it's going to be okay. Not, not too thick. So I think we have a max of 2 levels. So I just put 3 on the back of my flower pot, and you can see that it aligns with the one that's on the back of the bike. And so you get that little bit of dimension there. I couldn't wait to do that because I just thought that was so pretty. Just a nice look. So let me know when you've got that done. I tend to move ahead quickly because, again, I did make these earlier today. So I have the advantage of a little experience on this. I'm looking for my butterfly. So this is so weird. So sad. Because, of course, little butterflies are like the best part. How could I lose those? They are tiny. Oh.
They are.
Yeah. All right. But I'll show you on the regular card. Okay. We good?
We're good.
Okay. So next, let's take that polka dot strip of paper, and we're going to put this on the right side of the card, but we're going to use dimensionals for this. So, yep, like I said, lots and lots of dimensionals. But this is not going to overlap with anything. So this is a single level. And so we'll peel that off. And it goes almost all the way to the right side of the card, but it does get tucked under that bicycle seat just a little bit. You see that right there? It gets tucked under there. And hopefully you can get it straight like that. So it does a line at the top and then come down from there. Then we have our label. And for the label, this is going to be put onto the card, also tucked underneath the bicycle seat, but it's going to be applied flat. So you can use your glue dots for that, or I'm going to just use my regular adhesive. But here's my little trick with this. Rather than taking a chance of putting adhesive, on the sides that are not on top of what's already popped up there, I'm actually going to put my adhesive just in the center, there we go, of the strip that's on there. So you can see that's where I put mine. And that way I didn't have to worry about exactly where I was putting it on the circle. And it helps me also to make sure that I'm aligning the straight edge along the right side of the card. So it ends up looking like that. Super cute.
Very nice.
Right? We're not done yet. We are not done. So now we're going to take our twine and we're going to tie a bow. And I'm going to just tell you 2 things. The first is Stampin' Up! Has rolled out our paper pumpkin internationally. So now on our sheets that have the ruler, so if you're using the ruler, you have to make sure that you're using the inches side rather than the centimeter side. And so they recommend 12 inches, which I think is a lot. So if you want to go that route, you can measure out 8 inches and then another 4 in order to get your 12 inches. But what I prefer to do, and this is what I always recommend, is I just work right off of the roll. So I pull out a bunch and then I use my thumbnail and just to pull the of twine just so that it straightens it out a little bit because it's, you know, it's rolled up tightly on there. And then I just tie a bow. And then once I get the bow going, you know, it's never perfect. I'm going to pull it tight and then I'm going to fiddle with it until I get it to be the way that I want it to be. And let me just show you the sample so that you know what you're going for. On the bottom. So we're just going to be putting the bow on the back of the bicycle on that basket. So you get it the way that you like, and then you're just going to trim it, and then you can trim it right off of the roll, and that way you don't have any extra waste, and it's just a little, I find it a little easier to work with. Now for this, you could use your glue dot, and when I use my glue dots, I like to use my take your pick tool, and I pull it off of the sheet, and then I place it in the spot on the card where it's going to go, and then I take the backing off. I just find that this works more easily for me, and then I just press it into it, and then it is stuck in. So that's where we put our bow. Okay, and then finally you have your butterflies. So you can see, as I mentioned, I can't find mine. So they put 3 butterflies. They're all the same size, and they put 1 right on the flowers and then 2 above, and they are facing opposite directions. And again, I did use my take your pick tool in order to do that. Forgot. Oops. I was working over here. See if I can. I remember deliberately putting them in back into the box so I wouldn't lose them. Okay. And that is that for that card. Super cute.
Very cute.
Yes.
All right. Everybody good?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's move on to card number 2. Card number 2, remember the license plate is with that, and it only has a couple of pieces. So we are going to, so it has the big piece here, and then it has the room for the flowers, and then it has our license plate, and that's all that's going on this card, but it's going to take up a lot of real estate. So we're going to stamp 2 different things. We're going to stamp those flowers, as I mentioned, and we are going to stamp on the little license plate. Note that there are little silver dots on here. The silver dots are at the top. Okay, and on this one, they used best wishes. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off and stamp it on. Go. Very cute, right? Very cute. Makes for a nice birthday card. Could be for anything, but I think birthday is the most common for this. And then we're going to do the flowers. So for the flowers, remember, before we used the one that had a half a flower and it was on the bottom left, the one in the center is what we're going to use on this card and the next one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and peel that off and put it on. And then we're going to stamp in those white areas on the leaves or whatever you want to call that. So you're going to ink it up, and the only thing you need to do is you want to try to line up the flowers in the configuration that we have the white. And so I'm going to tell you, we are going to rotate this. So for the first one, we've got a little flower over here, and the way that it's situated, I don't know how to describe it. So I just want you to, turn your block around and see where it fits the best. And you know what? If it's not perfect, that's okay too. But this is how the first one is going to look. You can see on the second one, we're going to be a little bit more vertical. So you're going to ink it up and see which direction that ends up being. So for me, you can see I turned my block and now it is going this direction. And then for the last one, I think it's the same as the first one. Pretty sure. Yeah, seems like it's the same. And there we go. And then we have our little flowers. So like I said, I do love when they do that because I just think it makes it pop a little bit more.
Yeah.
Side.
It also gives you a place where it should go.
Right, yeah. Takes the guesswork out, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to take our card base and we're going to give it a fold, a good crease. And this card is going to be horizontal. And we're going to be putting that giant bicycle right on to the front. We're going to use dimensionals for this. Now for this one, they actually wrapped their twine around the basket. And I have to admit, I didn't do that when I did mine, but we should do it because that's the way that they said to do it. So we're going to use about 14 inches. Okay, and I'm going and I am, using my thumbnail just to make it a little bit straighter. And my little trick for this is to put a little bit of regular adhesive in the center. So you're giving your twine somewhere to give it some stabilization. And then, of course, the key is to thread it through that hole, which was why it was important to know that there was a hole there. Okay, I don't like to do it this way because I'm not so good at tying bows like this. But we can do that. And then once you have that on there, you could, I guess, tie the bow, but I'm going to attach it to my card first because I have that little bit of adhesive and I don't want it sticking where it's not supposed to. So I'm going to go ahead and add all of my dimensionals, and I am going to put one right on top of where that is, just so that we have a little lift there and it keeps the adhesive from flattening onto the card. And then adding a million dimensionals. I mean, I see why, I understand why they didn't give us the larger ones, because like for the handlebar here and for the seat on the last card, it's good to have the little ones. But yeah, I get a lot more bang from my buck. I usually, when I did my sample, I used the edges of a sheet of dimensionals that was almost gone. And that just made it a lot easier for me. So you can see that's how many I put on. That's still a lot. That's a lot for me, for sure. And I'm just going to start peeling off my backing. I find these come off really easily, and I probably don't even put my fingernail in most of the time.
I have a hard time with the little ones.
Oh, do you?
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I feel like I'm wrestling.
Huh. I don't know why. Yeah. Sometimes I find that they are stickier than others.
Yes.
This batch seems to come off really easily. But I know what you're saying. Yes, every so often that'll happen. And then when you're ready, no rush, but you're going to line up that left corner of the bicycle with the left corner of your card front. And then, of course, the half wheel at the bottom is going to get lined up as well. I'm going to just check on the dog for a second. She's running around. Yeah. You right, Joel? Yeah, we'll go out in a few minutes.
Oh.
Yeah. I think she's a little a little uncomfortable. Okay, we'll get there. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and tie my bow as best as I can. Like I said, this is not my strength, which is why I didn't do it on my sample, but that's okay. It's good to give it a try. Maybe I'll find that I do like it. You never know. Oh, that's not too bad. It's a little loose.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's a little flabby, you know.
Flabby.
You know, it's like,
Still peeling.
yeah. We're going to cover up most of it anyway. So, okay. So there we go. So that's how that looks. So then we're going to take our flowers and we're going to put on dimensionals and we're going to apply it over what is already there. And it gives it that little lift and a little background. And it's quite random, my part, but just enough so that it's not flat and it gives that look of dimension. And you'll notice that at the top here, on the top right, the little handlebar kind of sticks out through it, so you can see it coming out there. Well, Sheila. Oh dear. Oh, she's back.
I think I'm back.
Yes, you're back. Yes. You disappeared and then you were back.
I don't know what happened. Okay.
Yep. Okay. And then we're going to use dimensionals and add our best wishes. Believe it or not, they only use 2 on this one.
Wow.
I know. So, but I'm going to make sure that I'm putting mine. I probably should have done it right on there, but I'm going to make sure that it's right on top of my ribbon to help hold it in place a little bit.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. There we go. We have the best wishes.
These are very pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did not put, even on my sample, I forgot to put the butterflies. I wonder if I misplaced them early on today. So let's take a look at where they put the butterflies. They did use 3. It looks like there are 2 that are on the flowers and 1
can't
above.
see them.
I know. They are there though.
I believe you.
Yeah. We have 2 and then 1 up there. And that's where they put them. Yeah. So.
Like it.
Yep. Cute, cute, cute. Okay. So let me know when you're good with that.
I'm good.
Okay. Uh-oh. Lost Sheila again.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to go forward while she's figuring that out. Okay. So we're going to go to card number 3. So let's go ahead and give this a nice, good fold. And this one, notice that it has that stripe only on one side. Oh, you're back. Good. That's so weird.
I don't know what's happening.
Okay. All right. You're there. You're back. So this is card number 3, and it has the stripe is only at the bottom of one side of it. And so that is going to be the cover. Okay, because again, we're going to well, it doesn't really matter because we're going to be putting this piece on top of it after we stamp it. So we're going to be stamping on this.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to stamp on that little cloud looking thing. And you want to make sure that you have it right side up. And I don't really know how to tell you how to tell, but I can kind of see that the edge is a little bit,
It's like a little puffier, maybe.
yeah, like you can
All
tell
right.
the reverse side is kind of flat. So you want to have that face up. And then we're going to use our banner here with the flag on the left side. Okay, so that's what we're going to stamp on. So let's start actually with the flowers that we used the last time. And that is what's going to get stamped right onto that piece. So I'm going to ink that up. And what I found helpful for this was I took my
Yeah. Good
silicone
idea.
mat just so that I could see it better. You could just take a darker piece of paper, but I did find that that helped me. And again, I had to rotate it to see where it fit. And if you rotate it all the way around and it doesn't work, you probably have it upside down. Okay, so then you'll have to flip it over. I think, is that right? I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Let's see what happens if I flip it over. Maybe I have it upside down. Let's see. I don't think I did, but yeah, I did. I did have it upside down because I can see that this is the right way. So you might have to fiddle with it a little bit, but this is what it's going to end up looking like. See how it fits right in? Get up like that. Fits right into all the little loopies. Another technical term.
I do. Oh,
Yeah. All right. Let me know when you've got that because I don't want to rush you on that.
I'm good.
Me too.
Great. So then we're going to go and get our sentiment, and they use thank you on this one. So that's what I'm going to do as well. I'm coming, baby. I'll be there soon.
Oh,
Be so patient, you know.
this is hard.
Yeah, poor thing. And we're
Right in
gonna
the middle.
right in the middle on this one.
Okay.
And then we're gonna stamp some butterflies. So there are actually two different butterfly stamps. One has two butterflies and one has one. And we're going to start with the double butterfly. And we're going to ink that up. And that gets stamped. Ooh, I'm getting a little sticky here. This isn't great. Let's see. Move that over. We're going to stamp those two butterflies. Now you want to make sure that they're, you know, flitting around in a kind of realistic way. And I'm going to put that right to the right, like in the right top right corner. That's where the two go. And then you're going to come back and you're going to use the single butterfly. And that's just going to go above the seat, the bicycle seat, just creating kind of that triangle, right? A little bit of a visual triangle.
Oops.
And that is all the stamping on this card. Super cute. So let me know when you are done with all of that.
I'm done.
That was a lot.
Good too.
Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to put this onto the card front. And we're going to use well, they only use 9 dimensionals this time. You know, one in each corner and then down the center. Actually, they used, you know, 3 rows of 3, which is a good even way to put that on. Right, and you're just going to peel off those backings. one of those. And lay that down. Okay. And you can see that there's a little border going all the way around. And again, remember your stripe is on the front, but it's very subtle. So if you have it on the back, no big deal. Okay. So next, we are going to take our fun little pieces that are already stamped. So we've got these books and this plant. I don't know how you would ride around with this on the back of your bike, but that's what they did. I don't know. I don't really feel like I'm steady enough on the back of a bike to ride like that. But that's what we get there. And then we have our flower pot, the basket for the front of the bike. Now that I've done. I even have a bell on my bike. That was very important to me to have a bell. But I don't have a basket currently, but I have in the past had a basket. And that just goes right over what's already there. And then that's where our flowers are going to go as well. And the flowers are also going to go on with dimensionals. So that's another one of those spots where it's double dimensionals, but it's going to be okay. I just keep telling myself, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. As a rule, I just don't do that, but that doesn't mean it can't be done. And when you put this on, whatever you feel looks best. I don't know. I'm going to do mine like that. We have that. Okay.
Anywhere.
Yeah, right onto the basket. Okay. And then we're going to use our Old Olive strip. And this is we're going to use regular adhesive for that, or your glue dot. So that stripe is going to go on the bottom right of the card. And it actually extends past the edge of the piece that's popped up. So it's going to the edge of the card, the actual card base. That's something I don't normally do. And then we get to tie a bow. And this one, they say about 12 inches. And let me get that. You want it kind of long. The loops are a little bit longer for this because we're going to be putting them underneath our banner. So we'll snip that. And this we can just use little regular adhesive there in the center, or you could use your glue dots again. That would be fine. And you're just going to place it down like that. And then with dimensionals, we're going to add our banner, and it goes all the way to the right edge. And that is the final piece of this card. So there are no little glittery butterflies on this one. Because we stamped our butterflies.
Oh.
Yeah. That's okay. I guess that is enough butterflies. How many butterflies? I think there's never enough butterflies, but not everybody thinks that. So while you're finishing that up, I'm just going to pop over and show you some alternative projects as I do. See, there it is. I'll share my screen and let me just set up my slideshow so we can all see it.
Oh, cute. That bag is cute.
Yeah. So look what she did here. She put it into a frame, and then she used some tissue paper and just made little 3D flowers that are in the basket. And she punched holes so that little license plate or little sign is yeah, tied on there. So I was like, wow, that's a lot.
That's cute
But
though.
yeah, so that's what she did. Next up, we've got a whole bunch from Jessica of different
Wow.
cards that she put together. She just used different bases and mixed and matched some things. This one is Jody Frazier, and again, she just used different
Oh,
supplies from other places. She cut this one
yeah.
apart. Yeah, so super cute. Then we have Julie Whiteford, and she has a bunch more. See how she used little flowers from another stamp set. A whole bunch of different flowers, actually. And look, she's got the little koala bear from last month's product of the month.
Oh,
Oh,
smart.
look, she's got a little puppy too
Cute.
from the cutest crew. So super cute. This one she made into an easel card, and she used some
Wow.
strawberries. That was a lot of work, right? And look how beautifully she colored them really beautifully.
Yeah,
That's
she
something.
really did. Even the
Yeah, I
ones
don't have a knack.
lining the bottom are.
Yeah, yeah, she really did. So I thought that was clever. This one is a fun fold, so this folds up. But this is Laura Siki, so she is like, to me, she's the be all end all for projects for paper pumpkin alternatives, and she also made the little flowers here.
Wow.
Yeah. Then we have this is Lori Spendlove, and she did a lot. She was telling us exactly what she did to make them. So you can look that up.
Cute. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just if you just Google Lori, Stampin' Lori Spendlove paper pumpkin, it should come up. Lynn Dunn also always does a great job. Lots of different ideas here, and you'll get this in the email afterwards. And this is a beautiful scrapbook page. Yes, I'm coming. I'm sorry, I'm rushing because she's ready to go. Yeah.
Do what you gotta do,
Paula
Brenda.
Simmons. So yeah, we'll finish up 1 second.
Okay.
And then this is Robin Carter. So she used the everyday arches and lots of other things. Look at the ocean. I love it.
Nice. Yeah.
And that's it. So those are our cards. And I know we usually chit chat, but I can't do that today because Jules needs to go out.
Okay.
She's really not feeling well.
Thank you, Brenda.
So happy 4th, everyone.
Yes.
You too.
Everyone be safe.
We'll see you soon.
Bye,
Thank
Emery.
you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.